So I have explained how to figure out the degrees of freedom and how to write the equations of motion and how we can convert the equations of motion to matrix form. So let's look at some questions. These questions will be there are different kinds of question where we have different kinds of coordinate system chosen. So over here we have rotational coordinate system. Both are rotational, theta 1 and theta 2. Otherwise we can have one rotational and one translational, and the case can be there are two translational coordinate system. So over here it is given that there are two discs which are connected to the rods and their stiffnesses are given kt1, kt2, kt3. The torque which is applied is mt1, mt2, mt2, and j1 and j2 represents the polar moment of inertia, and theta 1 and theta 2 are the representation of the excitation or some displacement which is given to the system to find the equations of motion. That is for us, we can assume theta 2 is greater than theta 1 also. So that's the necessary condition. So first we have figured out that it is a 2 degree of freedom, and then we can assign the coordinate system as per our convenience. So this is the first mass. We know there are two forces which are acting. One of the force is three forces which are acting. One of the force is coming from this side of the rod. Let me use the pen. So one of the force is coming from the torsional force is coming from this rod. Another torsional force is coming from this rod. Over here you have T, and this is the external force which we have. And the last force will be, which is equated to everything, will be the inertia force of that disk, or the J. I should circle the J. And for the other spring also, other side of the mass also, the same thing will occur. But you must remember that over here we have theta 1 directly multiplied. Over here we have theta 2 minus theta 1. So that's the relative uh, torque which is applied, or relative uh, torsional displacement which is occurring, because theta 2 is greater, so it will try to rotate it more, while we have theta 1. So more is theta 2, less is theta 1. So the net force which will be coming on the disk 1 will be theta 2 minus theta 1 into that stiffness. And the same thing occurs for another disk, but it will be in the opposite direction. So over here the disk is going to try to rotate it in the for the first disk, it will be trying it to rotate in the clockwise direction from right side, and for the second disk it will be trying to rotate it in the anti-clockwise or the counterclockwise direction for the second disk. So we have just changed the direction, so they are going to oppose each other. So in this case they are going to not oppose, they are going to support each other, and we have written the final equation directly. So these were the forces, and you can see that these are going to oppose each other because the signs are opposite for kt1 and kt2, while in the second mass the signs are same. That means they are going to support each other. We have opposing torque, external torque applied, and which is this all forces, these are the summation of forces, external forces which is applied on that mass, and it is being balanced by the inertia force. So this, and we have another question which has one rotational and one translational system. So in the first video we have seen where the system where we had both the translational thing. Now in the earlier question we have seen where both the coordinate system were torsional coordinates. Over here we have combination of those. So this is kind of a lathe bed, and the first coordinate center of gravity moving up and down. The second degree of freedom is the center of gravity remains at the same point, but it is going to rotate about that center of gravity point. So the first degree of motion is the motion in this way, and the another degree of motion is in the this way. It is going to rotate. So this is also simple. We assume the length whatever we want, and finally we want the equation in terms of x and theta. As of now we can write the equations in terms of x1 and x2. So the aim at the last will be to convert that x1 and x2 to x and theta, because x1 and x2 are temporary relations. So we can start writing equations in x1 and x2. So there will be spring force over here and the inertia force we have. So we have written spring force, and these are the relation of x1 and x2 in terms of x and theta. So at last we'll substitute this x1 and x2 back and get the equations in terms of x and theta. So these are the direct relation, because these are the forces which are acting on. So this is a 2 degree of freedom system, because there are two springs and one mass, that is this extended body mass. So one of the equation will come from force being balanced in the vertical direction. Another equation will come from moment of inertia being balanced with the external torque. So we have got those equations. So these are the force, and there is no external force which is applied on it. So that is being only equated to the inertia, translational inertia in this case. And then there are rotational forces. So the same forces are being multiplied by L1 and L2, that are the lengths from center of gravity to the opposite ends, and that is being equated to inertia. So we have used second law, Newton's second law, to get the equations. We can also use Lagrangian equation, where we write kinetic energy and potential energy. So kinetic energy is translational and rotational. Potential energy is the potential energy of first spring and the second spring. We apply that equation. This is the final equation which we are going to apply. So we need to differentiate Lagrangian with Qi and del Q dot. So we have just written the Lagrangian, that is kinetic energy minus potential energy, done the differentiations, and these are all the differentiations which we need to do. And again, we have substitute these all differentiations in the final Lagrangian equation and get the equation of motion. So that's the equation of motion. This is the same equation of motion which we have got in the earlier case. So that's the equation of motion we have got over here also by Newton's law. And the same is by using concepts of Lagrangian equation. And then I have converted those two equations of motion into a matrix form. So the two coordinates are x and theta. I have x double dot and x theta double dot, m and j, and I have explained in the earlier video how to get this k1 and k2, these terms by looking at the equations of motion. And since there is no external force, I'll equate it to 0, 0. If there is external force, I'll use the force or torque which is applied. So we'll end over here.